Hi, and thank you for checking out my channel. This is my second channel because I realised that my love of books was spilling over into my old channel, which isn't actually overly focused on books and my love of books. So if you've seen my face before, it's because I've created a new channel. Not that I would ever assume to be that known that you'd recognise my face. But anyway, I've started this channel again because my buying, should I say, has gotten a little out of control. And I have here a massive haul to show you, which has been it's only been over like 2 to 3 weeks. I can't not stop buying books. And it's just because I'm in a new place. I've recently moved. I don't actually have a job yet, so it's very naughty of me completely. But it's just kind of, when you're trying to get your bearings somewhere, you end up just falling back on old patterns. And mine is buying books. They are nearly all secondhand. Some of them are brand new, so it's not like I've been spending a fortune. I'd say I'd probably spent about £40 on all these books, maybe 45 at a push. This isn't all the books that I bought that I'm about to show you. I have got some more mind, body and spirit and angel books over there, but that's for a different channel. So I'm just going to go through and show you the books that I have brought recently. I will try to tell you about them, but I'm not going to lie, there are so many of them, and I don't want to keep you all day. I will try my best, so thank you. So I'm going to start with two books that my husband bought me for nostalgia, because I said, I could really do with some, and he went and bought them for me. So I really wanted some Famous Five Enid Blyton. So 5 on Treasure Island and 5 Go Adventuring Again. I loved Enid Blyton growing up as a child. Yeah, and I'm really excited. I know they're probably going to be really young for me now, but everyone wanted to be George, right? Everyone wanted to be George. I loved George. She was just my hero. So I'm really excited that he picked those up for me. I think it's so sweet. So we're in. Next we have A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing. I picked this up from a charity shop. It was 3 for £1.50, and this was the third book that I grabbed in haste. And it is, here we go. So it is about a young woman's relationship with her brother and the long shadow cast by his childhood brain tumour. So it did sound good, but not. The subject matter doesn't sound like friendly. It sounds traumatic, but apparently Sunday Times Ireland said a brutal and brilliant debut. So I'm really excited. All of these are also on my TBR shelf, which is at the bottom. So there's that one. The next one I have seen on BookTube is Little Fires Everywhere. I picked this up from the works for £1. So, and yeah, I literally picked this up because I've seen it everywhere. I was like, oh, I want to go. And I read the back, and it sounds really good. People running from the past, causing disruption to the new place they're in. And apparently we've got a custody battle erupting over a Chinese-American baby, which I didn't realise. I didn't read that much in the shop. But for £1, I'm willing to go. Give it a go. The next book I bought was £2, and you'll see I do remember most of them. So this is hardback cover of Salem's Lot by Stephen King, and it has got previously unpublished material and a new introduction by the author. So what I've gathered from it is that it is how he wanted Salem's Lot to be. I think it's his unedited full publication, and it's got short stories in it. So, and I'm always about all that Stephen King stuff. So, but currently it is on my TBR, but it's more actually kind of on display as well at the same time because it's massive and it's beautiful. And I have read Salem's Lot, but I just had to get this for the price. So the next book that I'm going to show you is one that I just couldn't leave in the charity shop, and that was a Shakespeare anthology. Look at the green pages. Oh, they're there. And the reason I couldn't leave it is because this was a gift to Margaret from George in May 1943. And I was like, oh my god, this book is older than I am. So I had to have it. And it goes through, and it's got the quotes from certain plays, the known plays like Hamlet's quotes, Othello's, and then you've got sonnets, poems, and it's just really, really pretty. So, I mean, it's pretty battered, but considering how old the book is, it's pretty good, and I had to have it. I love Shakespeare. The next one was an absolute whim. Again, I did get it from a charity shop, but it looks brand new, and it is the novelisation of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I loved Rogue One. I didn't think I would, because I'd listened to too many people going, oh, it's not very good. Oh, it's not very good. It was amazing. It was amazing. So I had to have the novelisation, because I thought it was amazing, and I like the people in it. So look at that. Rebellions are built on hope. So again, okay, I may have gotten just a little bit excited in the charity shop at that point. That's one thing my hometown's good at, is charity shops and books. So moving on. Excuse me. The next one I have is The Little Red Chairs by Edna O'Brien. And this is a shortlisted for the Kerry Group Irish Novel of the Year in 2016. Apparently, a man who calls himself a faith healer arrives in a small West Coast Irish village. The community is soon under the spell of this charismatic stranger from the Balkans. One woman in particular becomes enthralled in a fatal attraction that leads to unimaginable consequences. Yeah, you had me at faith healer and Irish community, to be completely honest with you, and I think that cover is just stunning. So, not gonna lie, some completely bought because of the covers. This one's half and half. The next, a man called Eve, I don't know, a man, by Frederick Backman. I haven't pronounced all of them because I can't. So, he is the grumpiest man you will ever meet. He thinks himself surrounded by idiots, joggers, neighbours who can't reverse a trailer properly, and shop assistants who talk in code. But isn't it rare these days to find such old-fashioned clarity of belief and deed, such unswerving conviction about the world should be, and a lifelong dedication to making it just so. So, in the end, you will see there is something about Ove that is quite irresistible. So if someone could tell me how you pronounce his name, that'd be great. Ove. It doesn't matter. It sounds amazing, and it doesn't, in all fairness, it doesn't sound like anything that I would normally pick up, and it doesn't sound like anything I've read before, so I'm super excited to pick this one up. Next one is The Essex Serpent, and this is Sarah Perry. I picked this up only the other day, actually, for £1. So we have a woman whose husband dies, and she's sad but also relieved, so she moves off to Essex. And when she gets there, she hears of the Essex Serpent, so she sets out to find it. She bumps into the local vicar, and a friendship or perhaps romance goes from there. I'm not sure, but it has got some serious, also, you can't see it, but like it's foiled on the front, and it looks like it's only been read once. The spine's only been broken once, so I mean, not even that far open. I'd have to crack it. So I am looking forward to reading this one as well. It's got some good reviews from authors that I like. Bless her. And there's a picture of her at the back. Oh, that's a blank page. Gosh, we better move along. We're already on 10 minutes. So the Essex Serpent, I'm excited. The next two I brought brand new from Blackwell's of Oxford. I was in Oxford and I wanted to buy a book, and I love Blackwell's. I will support Blackwell's as long as I can. However, I then went into Waterstones yesterday and found that they were having like a buy one get one half price on one of these books and another one that I wanted. What the hell, Blackwell's? But never mind. So I picked up, I'll do them together. I picked this one up by Neil Schusterman, and I picked up Three Dark Crowns. So I don't need another series to get into. I am on book 3 of Game of Thrones. Well, I'm not on it yet. It's the next one for me. So I've read 1 and 2. I've got 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've only got 6 of the books. I've read 2. So there you go. So I have that, and I've got some more here. But it's like I've heard really good things about Neil, and this is not normally anything that I would go for at all. But I wanted to try something different again. So these are both young adult, although I think young adult is just like amazing. so it's like totally leading the way at the moment. But they are young adult. They were in the young adult section, so very, very happy to have bought these. You still with me? The next one we have is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. She's been murdered hundreds of times, and each day Aidan Bishop is too late to save her. The only way to break the cycle is to identify Evelyn's killer, but every time the day begins again, Aidan wakes in a different body of a different guess, and someone is desperate to stop him from escaping Blackheath. It just sounds different, doesn't it? It really does. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect, but I'm very excited to give it a go. Absolutely. What else do we have? Let's do the hardbacks. So I have James Herbert. I love James Herbert. I am a horror girl. I'll read anything, but I do love some horror. James Herbert is, I don't know, he's just he's everything, and terrifying and prolific, and I mean, he wrote Slugs. I think it was him who wrote Slugs. Yeah, if you've read Slugs, it's just not good. The Fog, The Rats, The Dark, The Spear, Fluke. I did have Fluke, I never read it. So this is basically about a house with a secret, an ancient evil. I love anything with an ancient evil. It's totally my bag. And to Daddy Brian with lots of love from Matthew and Christopher. That was precious. So I was so happy to get that. Oh shit, I'm losing my piles. The Suspicions of Mr. Witcher, or The Murder at the Road Hill House. Again, I think this one was £2. Originally it was £25. I can see why. It's beautiful. And it's from Bloomsbury. I'm very excited to read it. It sounds amazing, and it looks like so much detail has gone into it. And it says the secret lies with someone who was within. Now, I did read what it was about somewhere, but I can't remember. I think I must have Googled it, because I can't see anything here that tells me what it's about. But there you go. So I'm very excited. Let me know if you've read this one, because again, this one sounds really good. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to go down on my legs. Okay, so the ones over here are older, but I don't think they've been shot in any of my other videos. So this was the Secret Santa present from December. So The First 15 Lives of Harry August. So no matter what he does or the decisions he makes, every time Harry dies, he always returns to where he began, a child with all the knowledge of life, lived a dozen times before. Nothing ever changes until now. Oh, sorry. So this is Claire North. I really wanted to read this, and my co-worker knew that, and he bought it for me along with The Woman in Black. So very, very pleased there. This one I bought when I still lived back in Bristol. I don't know if I will ever read it, but I really want to try, because it sounds so different from anything that I would ever read. It's called The Shock of the Fall. And I'll tell you what happened, because it will be a good way to introduce my brother. His name is Simon. I think you're really going to like him, but in a couple of pages he'll be dead, and he was never the same after that. So, and Joe Brand said that it's dark, touching, sweet, funny, and beautifully written. Joe Brand is everything. So I'm like, ooh. So I'm hoping it doesn't stay on my shelf too long. I'm hoping. And this one, I don't know if I have done a video on, so I apologise, but it's on my TBR, is Midnight's Children. So I'm really excited. Born at the stroke of midnight on August the 15th, 1947, at the precise moment of India's independence, the infant Salim Sina is celebrated in the press and welcomed by the Prime Minister himself. But this coincidence of birth has consequences. So I know they turned it into a film. I really cannot wait to read the book. I bought this along with another book which isn't on my TBR, and I may donate it, called Tentacle. That was hard hitting. That was not for me at all. So that may be donated, but there you go. So Midnight's Children. Are you still with me? Because we are 15 minutes in and I've still got a pile. So I'm going as fast as I can. I suppose I could have put them into different videos, but at the same time, What's the point in uploading 2 different videos of my haul? I might as well just go all the way through. M.R. James collected ghost stories. I have been after this since my for months. Whistle and I Will Come to You, My Lad. I think that's it, isn't it? That's why I wanted the book. And I got it for £1, so yeah. Oh, Whistle and I'll Come to You, My Lad. I haven't read it. I mean, it's only going to be a short story, but it's on my TBR. Robert A. Heinlein, The Number of the Beast. I had to. I love sci-fi. Sci-fi and horror are definitely 2 of my favourite things, and he's the man who wrote The Man Who Sold the Moon. So I can't wait. The Number of the Beast. So we're seeing biblical 666 here, and we're in space. Awesome. Satan Whispers, a horrifying new novel by Clarissa Ross. I love. So basically it is, from the synopsis on the back anyway, a female telling of Damien from The Omen. I'm sure it goes to different places, but that's just a general overview for you. I love it. And also I've got one here that is the Man Booker Prize of 2016, which shortlisted for All That Man Is. Again, I don't think this is something that I would normally buy. I got this from a charity shop, but if you see, it was originally from Blackwell's. So, a novel of 9 men, each facing the same question. What is a man supposed to do now? So, we've got a group of men and things start to fall apart, go right, go wrong in their lives, and what do they do? I don't know. It sounds really... interesting, but at the same time it doesn't sound interesting. I'm not sure, but you know, vintage fiction, if I see one and I've got the money, I tend to buy them. I'm not gonna lie. So here we go. Sorry, I have got a really bad cough. So okay, and the next 2 we have 4th of July Creek. This is a thriller. I've come across this so many times and I finally picked it up. So I'm quite excited to give that one a go. Looks like we've got somebody that believes in the end of times, and there's a child involved, so I'm wondering if it's anything like Frailty, the film. So, and then Chalkman, The Chalkman, C.J. Tudor. This seems to be about chalkmen that keep getting drawn. I'm sure it's more than that. Wonderfully creepy, like a cold blade on the back of your neck, says Lee Child. Okay, we are down to the last 3 piles. Sorry. I will have to mention this is a really long video. This one is non-fiction. This is Into Thin Air. This is an account by John of a personal account of the Everest disaster, the people that climbed Mount Everest, the people that passed away, and what happened to the survivors. I really want to read this. It's going to be sad, but it is something that I know of, and I would like to read more about it. So we'll see. It's going to be a sad one. The next one I picked up was only the other day, which was One Wish. I had to get this because it mentions a wishing tree and fairies. Yeah. But wishes should be used wisely. And it seems to be a friendship book as well. And it does look like there's a series that she's done as well, but that doesn't look like it goes with this as well. And that cover is gorgeous. So I had to have that. Oh, someone scribbled their name out. Bless them. But yeah, I'm very excited to read that. The Last Days of Jack Sparks by Jason Arnott. My husband follows Jason on Twitter, and he said, yeah, you should definitely... Well, no, I'd already picked the book up, but he was all for me reading it. So we got Jack, who's a journalist, and he's been researching the occult. Apparently nobody knew what happened to Jack in the days that followed until now. So looks like something happens to Jack. The next book I have is Girlfriend in a Coma. So at the start, of this novel, the 17-year-old Karen loses her virginity to a boyfriend. An hour later, she collapses the party and falls into a vegetative coma. So it sounds interesting. I'm hesitant to say that because, you know, comas aren't for fun. And I do want to read it, but I was so excited by the idea of the book. I was like, oh, that sounds great. I got it home and I was like, oh, Douglas. I how to say this without being rude. I struggle with male writers that write about girls losing their virginity. It's like, can you truly know? I mean, you can know how you felt, but I don't know. I suppose you kind of, you know, if you can write about space and aliens, you can probably have a guess about a girl losing her virginity. I don't know. It just irked me slightly, but I'm still going to read it because I bought it now. And then we have Paolo. I can't pronounce Paolo's surname, but it's Veronica Decides to Die. So Paolo wrote The Alchemist. I haven't read it, but this one is that Veronique, or Veronica, it is Veronica, it's just spelled with a K, has everything. Everything is perfect. Her life is wonderful, but she decides to try and kill herself. And now she's been told she's actually done damage and she will actually die in a couple of days. And we follow her from there. So I'm really excited to read that. It's not a very long book, but as I know with from what I've heard from The Alchemist and Paolo's work, is that short but sweet is going to hit home. It's going to hit you hard. So, all right, guys, stay with me. We've almost finished, I promise. So these two I picked up, Shift and Wall. So in a ruined and hostile landscape in a future few have been unlucky enough to survive, a community exists in a giant underground silo. Inside, men and women live in enclosed life full of rules and regulations, but some people choose not to conform. I was like, yes! Shift is the second book, and I didn't realise that there was a third, so I'll have to keep an eye out for that. So I'm really excited. Okay. Book 1, The Dark Tower, The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Enough said, really. It was cheap, and yeah, I love Stephen King, and I've not read any of his fantasy. So. The next book I got was Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. Octavia was a science fiction writer. I was so excited to read that. I had no idea reading the back that it was science fiction, but I should have, because it says in 1976 Dana dreams of being a writer. In 1815 she is assumed a slave. So I'm so stoked to read that one. And then I have a couple of books that I wouldn't normally pick up. I say I normally wouldn't pick up, but I really should probably just scratch that from my vocabulary, to be completely honest with you, because there's no books really off limits, but they aren't my choice normally. And that is The Comet Seekers and Midnight Sun. Human interaction, love, friendship, warm fuzzies, tears. So I am excited to read them. I am absolutely excited to read them. But this one's a major film now. So we'll see. We'll see. Where are we? Stephen King, Insomnia. I love Stephen King, as I've said constantly. And I was really excited to pick this up. This was, yeah. It's not in bad condition either. I also have been hankering after this book for ages, but I didn't want to pay full price for it because I am a cheapskate. You'll learn this. Agatha Christie and Then There Were None, 50p. So this is the one that I've been after. Although if you haven't read it and you pick up this edition, I could only tell you to try. There's a bit there that says author's note. Don't read it because it ruins the book. So if you haven't read it, yeah, don't read that. I know because I've seen the TV adaptation. The next book, The Woman's Room. This novel changes lives. That's all I needed. Yeah. It looks amazing. It's a hauntingly powerful story of a wife in the 50s who becomes a woman in the 70s. So I'm really excited to read that. I was reading one the other day called Braided Lives by Marge Percy. I hadn't managed to get through it, unfortunately, but I'm really excited to give that one a go. Guys, we're down to the last 4. Well done. I picked this up. This is called Aftermath, and this is a school shooting. And we are seeing it from the shooter's family's perspective, and it appears that Jess, I think Jess was the sister, or Sky is the sister, and Jess is the best friend, and they're both haunted by unanswered questions of that terrible day, but the more they hunt for the truth of what really happened, they get closer to a new killer. So I'm hoping that it doesn't turn out that the killer was someone else, and if it is, that it's seamless, because I really don't like it if it undermines. I can't stand that. This one I've heard lots about. One of Us is Lying. I got this for £1. 5 students walk into detention, only 4 leave alive. So again, it is, what's that, young adult, but it's red. It was £1. I love it. The Revenant. This is awesome. I haven't seen the film, but Hugh Glass isn't afraid to die. He's done it once already. I just had to. Seriously, it sounds like a zombie film, so a book. So we'll see. And then lastly, well done. We're coming in under 30. We are all completely beside ourselves, and this is based on this follows Rosemary. And it turns out that her childhood was an experiment. She had a sister, she had a brother, but they're gone. It sounds really good. Apparently it's gripping and intelligent, so that's pretty cool. So there you go. That's a hell of a lot of books I bought in the last few weeks, but, you know, they were all really cheap, and I needed something to keep me happy while I was looking for work. So thank you for joining me on my first video for this channel. So yeah, do let me know if you've read any in the comments below, any that you would recommend next. I am currently reading Stephen King's It, and I have only just started, so I've got a little ways to go before the next one. But if there's any there that you love and you think pick it up, let me know in the comments, and I'll aim to get to that one next. Fingers crossed. Take care, guys. See you soon.